This week, it's been all about Russia, President Trump, and Vladimir Putin. And maybe that was the point of this week. Hey everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 a.m. KFYO. This week has been all about President Trump, Vladimir Putin, Russia, and whether or not Trump said what he was supposed to say in Helsinki, or whether he screwed everything up and is actually a Russian puppet and should not be trusted. The media has been going crazy every single day this week over Russia and President Trump, and really not an hour has gone by without the media clutching their pearls and talking about Trump and Russia. And maybe that's been by design, because the White House isn't done yet. In fact, on Thursday, the White House announced that President Trump would be inviting Russian President Vladimir Putin to the White House in the fall. When in the fall? I'll get to that here in just a minute. But the story from CNBC here, Politico, says that President Trump asked his national security advisor to invite Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington this fall, the White House press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said on Thursday afternoon. This came out after parts of an interview became known from CNBC. The full interview will air on Friday morning from CNBC, where President Trump said that if the U.S.-Russia relationship doesn't work out, he will be Vladimir Putin's worst enemy. Now, of course, the Democrats are going to talk about this. The media is going to talk about it. They're going to make fun of Trump the entire time, and say that there's absolutely no way that Trump will be the worst enemy of Vladimir Putin because he's Vladimir Putin's puppet. Okay, well, let's kind of break this down. Trump is probably nobody's puppet. By this time, we should already know that. And Trump is always up to 2 or 3 different things at the same time, right? At least that's what many supporters of his feel, is that Trump is up to 1 or 2 different things. And as we have learned, and as, well, you should have learned by now, what mainly matters with President Trump are his actions and not necessarily his words. Let's take a look at Russia. This entire week has been devoted to Russia. What's really happened with the U.S.-Russia relationship? Nothing. At the end of the day, nothing has really changed between the United States and Russia. The only thing that has changed since last week is that NATO countries are putting more money into defense to help guard against Russia. Remember, people went kind of crazy last week when they thought that when Trump was being the big bully to the NATO countries. But at the end of the day, NATO countries said they were going to provide more money for defense and agreeing with Donald Trump. So, has this really been all part of a plan? Let's think about it for a minute. This week, again, has been all about Russia. That's all anyone has really talked about. What have they not talked about this week in the media? Brett Kavanaugh. Remember him? Remember Brett Kavanaugh from last week? Oh, yeah, that's right. President Trump's Supreme Court pick, who the Democrats were trying to dismantle until it came to Russia. That's right. Maybe this has been part of the plan from the White House to distract the Democrats and the media, because the White House knew the media and the Democrats were going to stop at nothing to dismantle Brett Kavanaugh. Maybe President Trump made a little snafu in Russia. Maybe he did some things on purpose to where the media would spend this entire week, instead of attacking Brett Kavanaugh, attacked Donald Trump for comments about Russia. Now, this brings me to another point here. If maybe all of this is orchestrated, okay? President Trump wants Russian President Vladimir Putin to come to the U.S. in the fall. What else is going to be happening in the fall? U.S. elections, check. And also the confirmation hearing, possibly, of Brett Kavanaugh. Wonder if the two will align. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. We'll talk to you next week.